Okay, this is how you create an AutoCrat for the health screening form. I've already got these docs in a folder. You want to make sure everything's in one folder. Name it whatever you want, because this is where you want the responses to go. So first of all, I've got the form built, which will then be populated. These symbols, open symbols and close symbols, are going to tell AutoCrat in the sheet what information to put in there. So you'll see this is the exact question that's located in the survey and in the sheet. Have you experienced any of the following symptoms? Unexplained cough, difficulty breathing, shortness of breath, etc. And so it's important that that appears exactly like it appears in the sheet. Now, the things that aren't bound by these symbols are static, so they're going to still be there. So I'm not going to touch that anymore because I've already got that built and it is correct. I'll rename it. Transportation. I'm doing one for each building. And then I'll rename this one too up here. Then I want to come down here and change this option. We're only giving them one option, but I want to make that a selection, and it's a required selection. That way the person will know if they're on the wrong form, and also I want to make that a selection so that it will populate in my form that this is a transportation person. All right, so I've changed the name, changed the heading there. Now we go to responses, and we'll create a new sheet, create a new spreadsheet, create. And the new spreadsheet is created. And so what we're going to do now is add-ons. Now, you probably don't have, if you don't have the AutoCrat add-on, then I believe you can get it there. If you can't get it there, then just Google AutoCrat extension. So we'll launch. And click New Job. And we're going to name it Transportation Health Self Screening. And then from Drive, I will select the form that will be used as a template. And here's the form right here, the Transportation Employee Health Screen. That's the one we were just in. And this will populate right here. There it is. Click Next. And then we want to check that all of these are aligned. You can see that it recognizes these symbols and it is aligning it with the appropriate column. However, one of these, this one right here, for some reason has not been aligning, and that's okay. All I have to do is go to Maps to Column and then choose. It says close. It says close contact with an infected person, so I'm going to choose that column, and then that is resolved. And that may be because of these symbols in here. That may be distracting AutoCrat. Everything else lines up. Location lines up. There's our location. Timestamp lines up. And file name, I want to name these files individually. So once again, you can use those symbols. The way I'm naming it, because I want to be able to sort by the individual, is last name. So I put those symbols, opening symbols, closing symbols, comma, first name, and then semicolon to separate that. And then I also want to indicate the location. So I've got to bracket that. I want the timestamp in there, so when it happened, and COVID-19 self-screen. Now, since the COVID-19 self-screen is not captured by those brackets, then it's just going to be static. It's always going to say that. It's not going to be dependent upon anyone's responses. Now, what type of doc do we want to populate? This is really a receipt, so I want to make that a PDF because I don't want that to be editable. Click next. I never choose single output mode. I think I've tried to in the past, and it has messed me up. I'll go through these a little slower. Destination folder, it's already recognizing this is the folder this is in. It's already in here, and this is where it's going to go. I don't want to select another folder. That's why I create the folder, then put everything in there to begin with, and that makes that part easier. A dynamic folder reference, I haven't had luck with that, and merge condition is a little more advanced. Share the doc and send the emails. Absolutely. That's what we're trying to do. We want to send an email, and it's already got PDF because we selected that earlier. If you say Google Doc, then it gives you a few different options. Allow collaborators to reshare. Always say yes. Send from a generic yes. I want to. This is something I'm doing often, and I want that to come from a generic response. Now, who is this to? And once again, we're going to use the brackets to tell AutoCrat who to send this to. So I put in the brackets or whatever these are called, opening and closing symbols, email address, and again, that has to appear just like this in this column. So when someone populates the form, their email address will be here, and that's who this will be sent to. I'm going to do the same thing with my subject. I've got a specific subject. So the subject has COVID-19 self-screening, so we'll always start with that. And then next, it's got the email address with the opening and closing symbols. And finally, it has the timestamp. The message, you can do the same thing. You can have elements of the message that are standard and elements of this message that are customized. So this is going to say dear, first name, last name, and then it gives them that information. Click next. Run on form trigger. Yes, we want to run this on form trigger. What that's doing is whenever they submit, this will activate and it will send them the email. Yes. All right, we're ready to save, but first I want to show you one more thing here in the email. If you want to receive the email whenever it emails it to the person who submitted this, then you can just type your email address. And then I would receive every single response. I don't want to do that. If I want to see the document, then I'll just go in here because I don't want to. I don't want every email, but you can if you so choose. We'll click save. And we are set up. So I'll close that out. And now I'm actually going to take the survey so we can see how it works. All right. Maybe we will. Let's try that again. So this is taking me to the survey. We'll just test it out. When I did that, populated that already, we will say transportation. No, 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 submit. That part's pretty easy. All right, now that I've submitted, it will populate this. And then after it does that first population, it's going to create these columns as well. Merge doc URL, link to merge doc. Those are a little bit repetitive, but what will happen is it will create that PDF, and there will be a hyperlink to that PDF in here. And usually that will take place within about 30 seconds. All right, when I see that populate, I'll be getting an email very, very quickly. But I'm going to go ahead and take a look at it. So there's the form. So I've got access as the creator to all of the forms that are created. And there it has it again. I really don't understand why it does it twice, but there probably is a good reason. Then I'm going to go check my email. And there it is. There we go. Notice COVID-19 self-screening, we made that static, and then it pulled the email address that I provided for the subject. And it pulled the timestamp that when I submitted as part of the subject too. Tells me what to do. Don't enter if you answered yes to any. If you answered no, show this to the temperature screener at your location. So it makes it real easy on the temperature screener. And then here it is. Made these fonts very big right here, the essential fonts, name, date, and the responses. That way on a cell phone you can zoom in and show that to the temperature screener. Hope this was helpful. Have a great day.